Hi, welcome to another episode with I am Food Venturist. Today we have a very special guest with us. We have Chef Peter from the Precall Group. Personally, I've known Chef Peter for quite a long time, and he has been very successful and very consistent in delivering some amazing food here for the folks of Chennai. Welcome to our show. Thank you so much for instantly agreeing. So, Chef Peter, straight away into our discussion about you and what you've been doing here in Chennai and your future plan, Chef. So, can you please tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you've been doing?
Yeah, so I came to Chennai around 23 years back. That's when I started my career.
Okay.
I was born and brought up in Calcutta. It's
Okay.
a food city.
Okay.
Did my education there and got through campus recruitment, and I came to Chennai as part of the pre-opening team for the Park Hotels. That time, that was in 2000, back in 2002. So Park Hotel, during its tenure, it was like the pioneers in doing new things with regards to continental, with regards to European cuisine or Asian cuisine. That's where I honed my skills with regards and got my basics right.
Okay.
I had the opportunity to train under Chef Willie, Chef Rajesh.
Okay.
And then that's what formed my fundamentals of my philosophy of cooking as well. So yeah, it's been 23 years now. Chennai has seen a huge change in with regards to the food scene and stuff like that. When I came to Chennai, it was very hard to even get a bread and butter, literally, for usually I enjoy toast and eggs and butter, but so now you have a whole lot of options now. I mean, with regards to ingredients also, with so many restaurants opening up, I mean, there's no restriction as to what you can or cannot do, right? So I think there's a lot more things that's opened up in Chennai now.
Fantastic. So, Chef, I mean, can you tell us a little bit about your family and your background in Kolkata? I mean, you guys are authentic Chinese guys who have settled here in India.
Yes.
And are Indians, and your family still lives in Kolkata. And how are your siblings or other parts of the...
Yeah, so a lot have been spoken about the Indian Chinese in Calcutta.
Yeah.
We've been there, so my grandfather migrated from China around 60 years back, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
With them, they settled down there because they were escaping the Chinese army.
Okay.
That time, one of the Chinese family members had to join the government and join the Chinese army. So that's when they started fleeing the country for better opportunities. And couple of people landed in Bombay, couple of families landed in Assam, family landed in Calcutta.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they set up the base. And most of the Chinese family, when they reached Calcutta, they opened shoe shops. They depends on what was the caste, the Chinese caste they had. So basically, my caste, I'm Hakka.
Okay.
Yeah, so Hakka people, most of them, they had set up shoe shops.
Okay.
While the Cantonese people, they set up dentistry.
Dentistry.
Yeah, so that's how it happened. So yeah, we still have a shoe shop there. It's still operational, run by my mom and dad. We are three brothers. My younger brother, Paul, he's in US. He's a professor and he's doing his PhD. He has already done his PhD working with the University of Mississippi.
Okay.
And my youngest brother, he's in KL, he's in Malaysia. We grew up together. We are part of the Indian Chinese community.
Okay.
So we have been heavily influenced by the food culture of Chinese cuisine.
Okay.
The food which we have in restaurants, the Chinese food which we have in the restaurant is very different from what we actually cook at home. So it's very different. But yeah, because I always say that the only spices which I had at home was only three. Ajinomoto, yeah, I know it's controversial. MSG, we call it. Salt, pepper, and light soya. That's all. And then dark soya to an extent. Oyster sauce also very minimal. So these were the four ingredients which actually composed of the entire whatever dishes what mom made.
Okay. That's really fantastic, Chef. And I think Chennai should be very grateful to have someone like you for your ethnic background to bring as much as reality for the so-called Indo-Chinese food. Like you very rightly said, right? What is available in the restaurant is very different from what people would probably, from the Indian Chinese community, would probably eat at home, right? I think a lot more can be experienced in place like, say, Kolkata or for that matter, Bombay.
Right.
But Chennai has a smaller size community as compared to them. And historically speaking, some of the research when we did earlier, there were some Chinese shoe shops over here in Paris in much long time ago, and there was actually a famous dentist also from the Chinese community who actually
I think those still existent.
Still it does
exist.
Still
they have it. I think so. It was somewhere in Paris that they have a dentist.
Yes.
And when I came to Chennai, I was on the lookout of any Chinese who went for I can find, because just to have that familiarity of a new place.
Absolutely.
Because it was completely Chennai never existed in my map even before I came to, because I was always in Calcutta. When I through campus recruitment also, I gave the option of staying back in Calcutta, working at the Park hotels, the Park Kolkata, but then I was given the option of Park Chennai.
Okay.
So yeah, it was completely non-existent. I was not even aware that it's how southern India was and stuff like that. So it's completely new. But yeah, I'm glad I came, and it was a fantastic opportunity. And the Chennai gives you that comfort factor, right? So I think that I still feel that it's one of the best cities in India.
Wow.
Been to Delhi, been to Bombay, Bangalore. Every city has got its pros and cons, but I think the most well balanced is the city of Chennai.
Okay.
With regards to livability, safety, security, food, expense, I think so. It's got a perfect balance.
Perfect balance.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's really happy to know that we personally, I would say that one of my most favorite cuisines is actually Asian cuisine, right? And of course Chinese being Indo-Chinese and whatnot. Also, I had the opportunity to travel and actually live among people from the Chinese community in Australia and America and quite a few places, and they've been very hospitable, and the food is phenomenal, no doubt to say. And they're also considered, because most of the Chinese community that I've lived with, they're either from Singapore or Malaysia. No one's hard say per se from China mainland by itself.
Right.
So these communities, they're also exposed to our dietary needs as halal and such as that. So they're very sensitive when they're cooking, say, pork or anything like that. They always make it a point to point out to me, and I have been very lucky to have considered them as friends, and some of them remain friends even till today. In fact, yesterday also I had another such kind of a friend's birthday and called and wished them over, and it is pretty prolific to actually see that living proof that we are all one God's children, despite our ethnicity or community background or whatnot. And really, some of the best times of my life when I was actually a university graduate, I had with a lot of Chinese friends, and till date they are really great friends. So that being said, Chef, I've been a fan of your work. I think when you started working in Lotus at the time, like you said, I think Chef Rajesh was there.
Chef Rajesh was.
And that is something that, so I think that place used to be called Lotus, if I'm not mistaken.
Lotus, yes.
Lotus, of course.
At the park.
Of course, the great Chef Willy. So Chef Willy, I know you are there in Malaysia right now, and it's a matter of time we catch up with you again. So yes, another podcast is actually due with you whenever you're going to come to this part of town again. So that being said,
to do it, I mean.
And it would have been really great actually to have Chef Rajesh over here, who's now not being called as a chef, is being called the GM, elevated himself to a very senior position. So Chef Rajesh, Chef Willy, and Chef Peter and myself would have made a very interesting combination. But all in good time, good time. That being said, Chef, right now you're with the Precall Group, right?
Exactly.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do here in Precall Group and the different activities, please?
So I'm currently designated as the culinary director of the entire group. I joined as a branch chef for Soy Soy.
Okay.
So that time Precall Group, it was just in its nascent stage, fronted by Mr. Vikram Mohan, who's our MD.
Okay.
So they all brought together and came together and established Soy Soy and Savirasa in Kottupuram.
Okay.
So that was the first restaurant for which I was brought in. Absolutely. So the entire concept of Soy Soy in existence was that there were a lot of Pan-Asian restaurants. Even in fact Nasi and Me also, and even Mama Gotu also was in existence. Yeah. But then what we also saw that a lot of other Pan-Asian restaurants in the country itself, they used to call them Pan-Asian, but there was not much of a it was majorly Thai and Chinese. So then the entire concept of Soy Soy was that it should not be only Thai and Chinese. You should have equal representation from across all Southeast Asian countries. Absolutely. So that was the whole mode. And then my forte was majorly Thai. So that's how then our MD, Mr. Vikram, he had a vision. He said that you need to have a hands-on experience as to what we are getting into. So then we traveled across all these countries. We traveled to Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Burma, Singapore, Thailand, of course. And then we were traveling across for 21 days, sampling all this street food, all these food centers, all this
Hawker centers.
Hawker centers. Then some very unique dishes which actually the locals actually like. So then and replicated those coming back here.
Okay.
So yeah, the initial challenges were there as obvious with regards to palatability, acceptance, ingredients, availability. So those was all sorted out, and I'm glad that Soy Soy is in existence for the past 8 years now.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think they have made a very indelible mark in the Pan-Asian scene in
Yeah.
terms of what they're offering.
So that's how what Precor stands for.
Okay.
We really want to bring in unique experiences with regards to our cuisine and culinary offerings. If you see all our brands is like different from each other, and it's got its own USP. So as we said, Savirasa, then you have Soy Soy, you have Soul, SOWL, which stands for sustainable, organic, wholesome, and local. So now that we have two outlets there, so we really delve into sustainability with regards to using organic maida, organic flours, organic honey in our cooking, ingredients, and at the same time double roti, which is an American diner concept, which we have here. So each concepts, each outlets are unique to each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's a house like Precol, which has a lot of experience in running many businesses over here.
Yes.
The past couple of decades over here.
Yeah.
I think since their backing is there, you're able to
Exactly.
contribute the right amount of required resources and the correct amount of inputs required for you to run
Right.
such different and diverse brands
Yes.
across in Chennai.
Absolutely. So I think so. Yeah, and in any business, I think you need to have the kind of a backing. At the same time, also, there are a lot of people who has got a lot of money and want to invest in your business and stuff like that. But then your passion, your vision should be aligned. That's where our MD, Mr. Vikram Mohan, he's very passionate about food. So and he's got a set vision as to where he wants the brand to take it, where the brands to be. And that's how he gives us the guidelines, and then we work on that.
Absolutely.
So he has definitely given us a free hand as to what we want to do, and that's why you see a lot of our brands actually flourishing and doing well for the past 8 years down the line. And more importantly, I think so it's not all about just creating the brand and just leaving it. So I think to ensure that it's sustainable, you need to create and innovate all the time. So that's why you see Soy Soy coming up with new menus, with new dishes, promotions in each and every brand. So that's how we sustain ourselves. That's our brand ethos.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I also understand that your brand is spread to other parts of the country, chef.
Yes. So we have just in Little Soy, and we have also created one more brand called Rasanai.
Okay.
So Little Soy I didn't speak about. So Little Soy is basically the little brother of Soy Soy.
It's an express format, chef.
It's an express format targeted for tier 2 cities as well, but we also have it in Chennai as well. But there are two different set of offerings.
Okay.
So Soy Soy is a bit more premium. But Little Soy is a little bit more comfort Asian, I would say. A little bit more casual than Soy Soy. So in Soy Soy we don't do regular Indian Chinese.
Okay.
But then in Little Soy we do bit of a Chinese. So I have that freeway in that.
Absolutely.
So
because,
Little Soy, yeah.
because after biryani, I think the next comfort food for many of us here in Chennai is basically fried rice.
Yes.
So fried rice and your chili chicken, right?
Exactly.
So I'm sure that that's a huge taker for you. And actually, there are so many different kind of qualities that are available, but none to the level that you can feel that it is really of comfort, and you feel safe, because you don't know. Usually the Chinese kitchens where you side in the hawker centers are not here in Chennai. They're not as clean as what they are probably outside the country. Right. Yeah. So a question of hygiene and safety and all these things comes up to the mind. And I think Soy Soy with our Little Soy, what they're offering, I think they're able to fill that particular gap where I can know at mind it's coming from a house of Precol. Yeah. So naturally, good ingredients are there. Good food safety is there, and the prep is pretty good. And I think that comfort and that solace basically is given.
That is actually should be the main responsibility of any chefs who's behind the brand, and that should actually be the first priority of the restaurants, of the chefs, to serve safe food, right? So we in-house we have our own microbiologist. We have our own set of protocols in line with the FSSAI, whatever they have detected, and anybody, I would say that any of our guests can actually visit any of our back areas whenever they are dining, and they can see, then they can see whatever the processes we are following. So so I'm confident of the product. But barring that, also there has been instances wherein there has been oversight. Of course. So but then we take all these into consideration, and we work on so what we do is that, as I said, Precol is a very process-driven, system-driven company. So that's what we do, that we set up processes, we set up systems so that it doesn't happen again. Absolutely. And give the assurance to the diners that it happens, but really sorry about that, but then we really work for it, and this is what we've done to ensure that it doesn't happen again to you.